Okay, welcome. Now, I want to quickly go through hitboxes inside of video games, and I'm going to have a quick demonstration right here. Now, basically on the left of the player character is a little skelly boy. Now, skelly boy is going to attack our player character and is going to do damage. Let's see what this looks like. So when I hit play, I'm going to go into the attack range. Yeah, around here. Nice. It hits the player character, and notice the player character is losing health, right? And now essentially the character is dead. Now, health of the player character is just a simple value, right? It's a health value. And around here, where this little box is, this box is not the hitbox itself, but it's the place where the hitbox, the damage dealing hitbox actually spawns in. Okay, now around here is the place where the actual damage dealing hitbox is going to be spawning in. Now I'm going to make one simple change. I'm going to stop the hitbox, rather the actual damaging object from despawning, so it actually appears. I've called it the axe swing hitbox, and essentially it's this. It's a big sphere because since it's an axe, I want it to have a big damage radius. This time, I'm going to stop it from being destroyed. Okay, so let's see. Let me break all these nodes. Now, quick compile. This is how it actually looks. You see that? That circular thing? That is what actually does damage to the player. And when the player avoids it, okay, but when it's hit by it, notice that the player now actually takes damage. Let's see that one more time. Player takes damage, player takes damage, player takes damage, player is dead. That's essentially how hitboxes get spawned in when like enemies are doing damage to the player. And on the player side of things, it's very much the same. So let me attack this character over here. Whoa, oh snap, yeah, it's tracking me. Okay, let me destroy this so that it dies. Okay, so I've destroyed that enemy, and the player is essentially doing the same thing. At a certain point during this animation, it spawns a damaging hitbox. Now, let me show you what that looks like. Now, when I'm doing any design or development, I always teach to make sure to keep things really organized. So let's go into the player, and then we'll go into animation, and let's go at let's see, the animation source should really be where it is. So after clicking that, so let's go into the player's sword attack animation. Okay, let's pause it around here. So notice this is the first frame. At around here, this is the frame considered for the sword hit, right? At around like 2.5 seconds, basically right after that trail, there is a notifier that fires off an event that causes the spawning of the sword attack. Let me use another sword attack to kind of show it off. So notice the player is getting ready, then fires that off. It's actually super fast, right? There's barely any difference. So around that time, literally just the frame after that slash, there's the sword hitbox spawning in. Now, just for the sake of clarity, let me actually show the player's sword hitbox. So there is a folder. I always keep these in a separate folder. Damage hitbox. Okay. It's called sword attack 1. Now, inside, this is basically what it looks like. Since it's a sword attack, I wanted it to be more rectangular. So that's the actual hitbox of the sword when it's able to do damage. Now, right now, its base damage is set to 30. Let me quickly break all of these node links so that you can see what it looks like in the level. So this is what the player's sword hitbox looks. You can actually see it. So on the ground, and even for the player's hit at air attacks, that's what actually causes the skeleton walk through some dangerous hitboxes. RIP to the skeleton. But that's essentially how damage being dished out or taken in the game works. Like for now, I'm going to turn this back into visible. Need to quickly compile this. Okay. Now, if the player attacks the skeleton, notice it has a quick stun animation. After a couple of attacks, the skeleton is completely dead. However, if instead of causing it to do only 30 damage, I can increase it to something like 300. This is just for demonstration. This is not balanced at all. Now, if you go and you attack, the skeleton dies in a single hit. Let's say, jump over, dies in a single hit. So that's how you basically balance your character. You just adjust different attacks can have their damage value altered. I'm going to set this back to 30. Thank you. Different attacks can have their damage altered depending on what you want. So you can give your character a heavy attack. You can say the first two attacks in the combo string do different damage. Air attacks can do different damage. Bat slam can do a different damage. So that's really how you organize it. Now, the last thing I want to show is these. So you can see those projectiles that are basically going after the player. These also have some damage attached to them, but it's designed a little bit differently. Now, with the way I set up the animations with the player, it basically, there's a frame where the box spawns and it's available for, it's only on screen for a single frame. But the player's animations are always pretty fast, so that makes sense. But here, with the thrown projectile, let me let it hit the player. Notice that with the thrown projectile, it disappears after hitting the player. Oh man, I set this up to do potato damage. Let's have another look at them. Let's go back. Characters. Okay. Let's go and have a look at the ranged enemy. And let's see. The ranged enemy is a bit different. Enemy projectile. Let me double click that. So what's different is that with the ranged enemy, the projectile itself, there's that circular box of damage around it, but the projectile itself is the thing that does the damage, okay? So let's adjust its damage amount though. I do not like how low the damage is. Let's quickly find out. Damage is set to 1. I don't like the idea of that. Let's increase it to 30. I think 30 damage for a projectile that's being thrown at the player is good, because then the player dies in about 4 hits. So let's see. Yep, that's much healthier. So yeah, that's just like a super quick overview of damage projectiles and how they work in Unreal Engine. And it doesn't matter whether it's a 2D, like here it's 2D or 3D, they all work fundamentally the same. It's this object that when it interacts, it does damage. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope that video was useful to you. If you'd like to have a bit of a more in-depth and wide-spanning set of learning videos, there are discount links for the entire 2.5D platformer in Unreal Engine course in the description of this video. Otherwise, have a good week ahead.